To watch the latest from India Science, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press on the bell icon to get notifications on all the science-related videos.
Oxygen. This life-giving gas has been making headlines in the recent past. We've all heard reports of how infected patients succumb to COVID-19 due to shortages of medical oxygen supply. Medical oxygen is prepared by extracting oxygen out of the air. Have you wondered where oxygen on Earth comes from? I'm Nidhi Kumar, and you're watching Science Time, a show that brings to you the best that science has to offer, from exciting developments in science and technology to futuristic solutions. And in today's episode, we will talk about from where does oxygen on Earth come from? Can current vaccines protect us from the B.1.617 variant? And what is 2DG, DRDO's new drug for COVID-19? Let's get started. Well, as we all know, oxygen is vital for most lives on Earth. It is essential for human respiration. From the ticking of the brain to the thumping of the heart to the twitching of the muscles in our body, oxygen is essential. And without this life-saving gas, organs fail and cells die. In the atmosphere, oxygen is mainly present as an oxygen molecule containing two loosely interconnected atoms of oxygen secured by an electron bond. Due to this weak bond, the oxygen molecule is one of the highly reactive elements. It reacts readily with iron to form rust, and this process of oxygenation helps in combustion. In each breath that we take, in 5 to 8 liters of air per minute, of this, about 20%, that is about 1 liter, is oxygen. Imagine 8 billion humans doing this day in and day out. On top of that, many more billions of other life forms are doing the same. How does the Earth meet the oxygen requirements of organisms? Most believe that the Earth's oxygen comes from trees, but surprisingly, as it may seem, trees contribute to only about 28% of the world's oxygen production. So where do you think the majority comes from? The answer lies in the depth of the Earth's boundless oceans, which account for about 70% of the total oxygen on Earth. Tiny marine plants called phytoplankton are responsible for most of the oxygen produced in the oceans and seas. These plants absorb a whopping 10 billion tons of carbon dioxide each year. And in return, they produce oxygen through photosynthesis. The phytoplankton population blooms in cold and nutrient-rich conditions close to the water's surface because of the abundance of sunlight there. It would be right to say that phytoplankton holds the key to the sustenance of life on Earth. However, the phytoplankton population has decreased by 40% over the past 70 years. This is due to a rising sea surface temperature. A slight drop leads to further global warming, something to seriously ponder over. And moving on to our next story, story number 2, a lot has been said about the B.1.617 strain, popularly known as the double mutant. And the variant carries 2 important mutations and maybe 11 other mutations. And scientists feared that the 2 concerning mutations could make the novel coronavirus more transmissible and might help it evade antibodies generated by natural infection or vaccines. This has raised a question. Can current vaccines protect us from the B.1.617 variant? And according to a new study, the variant might infect vaccinated individuals. Such cases are called breakthrough infections. But people with breakthrough infections are more likely to be spared from a severe disease. This is all the more reason why you should get a COVID-19 shot. The study was carried out in a hospital in Delhi where at least 33 healthcare workers contracted COVID-19 despite being fully vaccinated with the Covishield vaccine, but none of them suffered a severe illness. The researchers also found that B.1.617 was behind most of the breakthrough infections. However, this could be because this strain was widespread at the time of the study. The lead researchers told the print that these findings could be generalized to Covaxin as well, though there is not enough data on it. The data, though preliminary, suggests B.1.617 could be more transmissible and might be able to evade antibodies moderately. The bottom line is that these vaccines could protect you from ending up in the ICU. And talking about the matter, WHO's chief scientist, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, said that there is no data to suggest that the B.1.617 variant is resistant to vaccines. She added that all the available vaccines prevent severe diseases and death even after the infection. She urged people to get themselves vaccinated if they are eligible. And if we go by the current evidence, vaccines can be life-saving. So please don't fall prey to any misinformation circulating online. And now a new drug, 2-DG or 2-deoxy-D-glucose developed by DRDO will be available to COVID-19 patients. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare of India, Dr. Harshvardhan, launched the first batch of 10,000 doses of the drug on May 17, 2021. This comes after the Drugs Controller General of India granted emergency approval for 2-DG as an adjunct therapy for moderate and severe COVID-19 cases. An adjunct therapy assists the primary treatment. DRDO claimed that the drug speeds up recovery and reduces the need for supplemental oxygen in hospitalized patients. In 2020, DRDO's Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences joined forces with Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, Hyderabad, to evaluate 2-DG against COVID-19. 2-DG mimics glucose, a sugar molecule that provides energy to cells. It was primarily evaluated as an anti-cancer drug, as cancer cells are highly dependent on glucose. And cancer cells consume 2-DG thinking it is glucose. But the drug does not provide cancer cells with energy, causing them to starve. And theoretically, 2-DG could inhibit the growth and replication of the virus. That prompted scientists to test the drug against the new coronavirus, though it is still an unapproved anti-cancer drug. Scientists from the Hyderabad-based Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology performed preliminary studies in the lab. In cells cultured in the lab, they found that 2-DG prevented growth in the novel coronavirus. And these results made way for Phase 2A, Phase 2B and Phase 3 clinical trials. DRDO and Dr. Reddy Labs conducted Phase 2 clinical studies on 100 patients between May to October 2020. Phase 2A was carried out in 6 hospitals and Phase 2B was conducted at 11 hospitals all over the country. And following this, the Phase 3 trial was conducted in 220 patients at 27 hospitals in various parts of the country. The results showed that the drug improved symptoms in a significantly higher proportion of patients. About 42% of patients on 2-DG did not need oxygen therapy by day 3, compared to 31% in the control group. So DRDO has not published the data from the clinical studies as of now. They are expected to make it public in the coming days. So 2-DG can meet the growing demands as it is easy to produce. It comes in powder form and should be dissolved in water before consuming it. The second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic has challenged the country as patients scramble for oxygen and hospital beds. In the end, please stay safe by masking up, following social distancing and getting vaccinated. Stay healthy, stay safe, keep watching India Science. On that note, namaskar.